Right, of course. There's no getting rid of me. You have no idea what I have in store. Perilous plots and spiteful schemes aplenty. It's your destiny to fight. And I'll always be here to keep things interesting.
Sounds good. Hope we start soon. For none shall remember the names of those who do not fight.
What is up, dreamers? It is Robbie Dagger back again for the final episode of Mobius Final Fantasy. The long journey is finally over. The quest to return hope to the world of Palamecia that started internationally August of 2016 finally comes to an end almost 4 years later, on July 1st, 2020. And of course they leave us with that ending quote, none shall remember the names of those who do not fight. So many good things to say about Mobius Final Fantasy, for sure. I mean, for one thing, there was a completely unique story created by Square Enix themselves. This wasn't some kind of project that they sold to another studio or anything, like something like FFBE. And there were a lot of really cool, like, beloved characters that made cameos and had some canon storylines in this game, like Cloud, Squall, Tidus, all those cool dudes. All those collabs that came were really awesome. The gameplay and mechanics were of console quality when this game first was released, and then there was some fun and engaging multiplayer. We had a lot of good times in there. The multiplayers and the collaboration events were definitely my favorite part of the game. That's where I believe it stood out among the mobile market at the time of its release. The Final Fantasy X event in particular was one of my favorites. When Mobius Final Fantasy first released, it offered something just no other mobile game was offering at the time. MFF was a mobile game, but in many ways it had the depth of an MMO like Final Fantasy XIV. In fact, I remember just tons of people that would say that it felt similar to Final Fantasy XIV Lite or something like that, or like almost like an 11 version. And there were definitely some homages to those games, I think, in the forms of some of the jobs and some of the art in the game and everything. Now, it definitely wasn't a perfect game by any means, and it for sure started to show its age as the years went by. I mean, it's a mobile game after all. These games tend to have a very short shelf life. The sluggish pace of the story and the grind kind of turned out to be too much for most players, in the West at least. The first year of the game was pretty unrewarding to play, and the devs made some very questionable decisions very early on that contributed to Mobius Final Fantasy receiving some very poor word of mouth. Due to its reputation of being not free-to-play friendly, it was dwarfed in comparison to the popular, at the time, Final Fantasy mobile title, which was Brave Exvius. The second year fixed a lot of the main issues that players had with Mobius Final Fantasy, but by then it was way too late for this game to garner any kind of respect that it might have had the chance of getting under different circumstances. In a way, I'm kind of glad to see this journey finally come to an end. Of course, I'll miss the world of Palamecia and sharing the experience with all my fellow players, but I no longer feel the same way I do about Mobius Final Fantasy as I did when I first started playing it. To be fair, I more or less lost all love for mobile gacha games, so it's not really Mobius Final Fantasy's fault in particular, but I did learn a lot from playing Mobius Final Fantasy that I'll take into my experience with other games. Mobius taught me that no matter how much you spend on one of these online-only games, and this includes modern MMOs too, when you think about it, would start to look, and they're kind of starting to look and play a lot more like gacha games. Geez, that's a whole other topic though, but you'll always end up with kind of nothing when the game finally shuts down. Not even like a t-shirt, no poster. I know sometimes it happens, but in this case we're getting nothing. Not only this, but I learned that my ultimate enjoyment of these games, and games like this, is is by playing them free to play, not just because I don't want to waste money on digital trash, but because playing these types of games without spending money usually leads to just a more satisfying challenge overall. Mobius may not have been the best mobile game, but the memories I had playing it with friends and viewers are ones I'll cherish and always look back on fondly. When I was a young teenager, video games were a little different. We had cheat codes that you could activate when you felt so inclined to change your experience, but these days cheat codes have been replaced by in-game currency purchases, basically. So when I put money into one of these games for something that's not cosmetic, I might as well have just paid the developer for a cheat code or something. At least that's how it feels for me, coming from the old school of games and still playing and enjoying a lot of these old school games. Having Supremes in Mobius Final Fantasy didn't really make the game more fun, to be honest. The most fun I had in Mobius Final Fantasy was always when I was trying to work on those free-to-play guides, or, you know, event cards only guides. So what's next for this channel and the Mobius Final Fantasy part of the Dreamer Society? Since the Dreamer Society Discord was primarily focused on Mobius, but truthfully, I think we're gonna be okay. I think I'm done for now with mobile and gacha games. I know a lot of the Discord has moved on to like Epic 7 and 7 Deadly Sins, but I kind of want to focus on games that are doing the free-to-play thing, but are doing it right in the near future. And currently, I'm having a lot of fun playing Ragnarok Online at the Nova RO server. Honestly, if you like Mobius, you would like Ragnarok Online, so consider this an invite to join me in the world of RO if you're feeling like it. By the way, if you want to hear more about my Nova RO adventures, please let me know down below. I get the feeling that you guys do like a lot of that stuff, because the views on the Ragnarok videos are crazy high compared to what we've got with our Mobius. So, I don't know, maybe something to look forward to in the future. But I also want to check out games like Path of Exile. I heard they're doing some really good things. And maybe take another shot at Warframe. Of course, Final Fantasy XIV is always on my list to play, and other Final Fantasy games will always be there too. But I guess for now, this just, the end of one game here. I definitely want to say thanks to everybody who supported this channel over the years. I know it's been a wild ride. We made it to well past 2,000 subscribers, which, is really dang good for a game like Mobius Final Fantasy. So, I really appreciate all you guys joining me on that journey. It's been awesome. Super big thank you and shout out to my patrons. I've had patrons during this awesome time. Jasmine, big shout out to Jasmine, and a super big shout out to Donnie, who is the Discord king currently. So, that's a big deal. I appreciate you guys so much. And you two honestly inspired this video. So that's why I really appreciate you guys. If it wasn't for seeing you two still patrons in there, this video may not have happened. So I definitely want to thank you guys. And thank you all for coming by and enjoying this last Final Fantasy video. We might do some more stuff. I'm not really sure. Like if you guys want to see what all Supremes or something I had before the game's all over and we can't play it anymore, just let me know. But thank you all for coming by for this one. Take it easy. I'm gonna let the credits play out just to do it. Thank you guys so much for coming by, being part of this. I'll see you soon, and I'll catch you later.